everybody, welcome to DIY the Show. My name is Andrew Lowry. DIY the Show is the public act show. We talk about DIY ethics, morals, ideas, and how they relate to your real, actual life. So each week, me, Andrew Lowry, I sit down with a couple of guests, and we talk about why they choose to do it themselves and why it's better than everything else. So without further ado, I want to welcome you all to DIY! It's time for DIY. Hey everybody, welcome to DIY. My name is Andrew Lowry. We're here on the show. This is the only show with 2 added scoops of protein. So if you're watching right now, our old live stream went the fuck down. We had some technical difficulties, but I'm still here to hang and I'm still here to be with you, the internet. As always, like I said, my name is Andrew Lowry and you're watching DIY the Show. Each week we have a topic. This week's topic is health and fitness. And so this week on the show, I didn't want to just talk about getting swole and eating right. I wanted to really sort of explore what it means to be healthy, whether it's personalized to you or it's some sort of fringe thing. If you want to be a little unhealthy, that's cool too. If you want to be super healthy, that's cool with you too. I think it's personalized to you. It's subjective. But I mean, it's not fully subjective because obviously there's, we have science and math and we understand when things are bad for us and when things are good for us. But either way, we're going to find out what those good and bad things are here on the show. So as always, off the top of the show, I want to thank all of you for tuning in and playing us in always. They weren't here last week. Our house band, let's hear it for the house band, everybody.
They are back! They are back!
They are back. Cliff and Chris, what's going on, homies? How you been? Long time no see.
I ate too much lettuce and now I'm dead.
So you're a ghost. Chris O'Grady is now a ghost. Is that what we're saying?
Welcome to the danger zone, motherfucker.
Oh shit. He's a ghost that loves Top Gun. Cliff, how about you? How do you feel playing with a ghost? Is that fun for you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cliff, I love it. So we're talking about health. Is there anything either of you try to do to stay healthy? Any sort of techniques, any little tricks you do?
It's too expensive now.
Too expensive. Yeah. So do you exercise? Any exercises, Chris?
Yes.
Yes. What sort? Hand exercises? Leg exercises?
You sick bastard.
I did not mean masturbating. But if you want to throw it out there, we'll talk about it. You want to talk about it, Chris?
No.
Okay. Fair. But yeah, so we're talking about out there. Nothing healthy. You guys do not live healthy lifestyles. You do not do anything healthy.
I still kind of have a metabolism.
Nice.
So I'm all right, at least for like maybe 5 more years.
Do you get indigestion, Cliff?
Not too bad, really.
I ate a meatball.
One meatball
when I was 25. I got indigestion.
Back in the day when I was 25.
3 years ago, because I'm an old grandpa. No, just kidding. Whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for playing us in. You guys going to hang all day. We'll see you a little bit later. Next to you, we have Mr. Killer on the Games. Carbia, what's going on, homie?
Hey, what's shaking?
What's shaking, dude? How you been?
I'm far from dreadful as usual. I know I'm being a broken record.
I love it. That's your catchphrase. What do you got going on? What's in your hands there?
I forgot to mention.
Here, show it to camera.
Yeah, remember the headbanging contest we had?
Oh, there you go.
It's an award I won 2 years ago. Shout out to Brookline Interactive Group.
Shout out to Brookline, another public access station that we are not
which I'm still a member,
with.
by the way. Fearless Creator 2016.
Very cool.
I have not regretted ever since.
So, Carbia, I wanted to ask you, we're talking about fitness, health, all that stuff. I was thinking, what is the strongest video game character you can think of? What's like a big, tough video game character?
Yeah, I bet comics and manga don't count either.
I mean, you can throw comics and manga.
Yeah, looking at you, Goku.
Goku's your toughest guy.
But then again, I also have to. I definitely go with Guile any day for sure.
Okay, very cool.
Sonic Boom, MFR.
Sonic Boom, exactly. So, could you pull off a Kamehameha? You think?
I would put Jalen to shame.
Nice.
Hopefully. Well, let's see. Remember that filmmaking episode we did, and you put my
your video,
every superpower we've imagined throughout our lives have diddly squat compared to what my old alter ego can do.
Very cool. And
all that aside, I have my own exercises as well.
Yeah, what are the exercises you do? How do you stay fit, Carbia?
Long hikes. It's not obviously. already.
You are a wanderer. You are a nomad.
Freaking, I'm a survivor for crying out loud.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against learn to drive at all.
No, but hey, if you can hoof it, you can hoof it. So, Carby, are you going to keep playing games for us the rest of the show?
Absolutely. Yeah, case in point, this week got Life Force. It's
nice.
It's a spin-off of Gradius, and judging from the theme, it's got like some sort of like bodily like I mean as of right now in this second stage here, I mean it's like all mountainly, but it's got like some organic shit involved.
Very cool.
Kind of like Abadox out not long after. But
Awesome. Very cool. So we'll be hanging with you. We'll be watching you playing games in the back, and yeah, all that. So thank you as always, Carby. And lastly, on the panel, the love of my life, my beautiful girlfriend. How are we feeling today? How is your health, Amanda?
Oh, swell.
Feeling swell.
Feeling swell.
So I feel like we have a theme going with your segment. Last week you were a little hungover. Now this week, is that still the case?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes.
So on a scale of 1 to really bad, how are you on hungover scale?
Well, I ate a sausage, egg, and cheese, so I'm at like a 5.
Solid 5. So we're kind of like.
It wasn't a Jimmy D brand, was it?
No, not Jimmy Dean sausage McMuffins.
Dunkin's.
We love Dunks here.
Real gross.
Yeah, Dunks. But yeah, so what are you drawing right now? You got a skull going so far?
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of keep it easy today.
Yep, nothing says health like a dead moose. So.
Yeah, nothing says health like a dead moose.
Yes.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Love you as always. Thank you for being on the show. But yeah, so either way, we're back here on DIY the show. We got plenty more coming on here. I got guests with me. I got Christian Matyi with me, as well as the band Tunix Giant. I really appreciate if you're tuning into the live stream right now. Again, we've had some technical difficulties, but stick around here on DIY because we're gonna have plenty more here on the DIY show. We're gonna go to video with a friend of mine, Caitlin. She does some yoga. She's gonna teach you the intricacies of the downward facing dog. So when we come back, I got Christian Matyi sitting next to me.
None of that dolls eat crap either.
DIY. Oh, nap time.
Hi guys, it's Caitlin Lassie. Today we're going to talk about Down Dog. Down Dog is a beautifully balanced yoga pose, as it's very soothing and calming to your nervous system, and it's great for stretching out the entire backside of your body. But it's also very invigorating and energizing and great for strengthening your upper body. So today I'm going to share with you a few tips to feel more grounded and empowered in your down dog. I'm going to have my lovely demo Pete here show you those tips. So start off with your hands on the ground, palms on the ground, fingers spread as wide as you possibly can spread them. Tuck your toes under, send your hips up to the sky. Keep spreading your fingers nice and wide. Wrap your triceps back. So instead of pointing your elbows and your triceps to the sides of your mat, wrap the triceps back behind you, point triceps and elbows towards the back of your mat. Keep your ears in line with your triceps. Press your hands down and away from you, like you're trying to stretch the front of your mat towards the front of the room. And notice how when you press your hands down and away, the heart comes further back towards your thighs. That's one of the most important things to think about in down dog, is pressing your heart back towards your thighs while keeping your hips and your sits bones high up to the sky. So that brings us to the knees. Your knees can be bent, or you can reach your heels down towards the earth and straighten out your legs. But really, that's all just up to the flexibility of your hamstrings. A lot of the times, people will push and push and push to get their legs straight, but then you lose the press back of your heart. It's much, much more important to have your heart come further back towards your thighs than to have your legs straight. So whatever works best for you, knees bent or legs straight. Just keep pressing your hands down and away and heart back, and keep reaching your sits bones and your hips nice and high up to the sky. Thank you very much. If you are interested in more tips and practicing with me a bit more, I have all sorts of videos and fun stuff on my website, CaitlinLassieYoga.com. Thank you very, very much for practicing with me today.
It's time for DIY. Shit, oh my god, someone should count me in. We're back here on DIY, the show. My name is Andrew Lowry. We're talking about health and fitness today. I'm so glad if you're watching right now, if you're watching the live stream, tell us you're fucking watching. I want to know. I have paranoia. I want to know if someone's actually paying attention to me yell into a camera. But whatever, enough of my mental breakdowns aside. We're here talking about health and fitness. I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce you to my guest, Christian Matyi, the Big Inside Podcast. He's a personal trainer. I almost said the Big Little Inside
I was gonna say
Podcast.
you had one job.
I had one
Andrew.
fucking job.
One
Fucked
job.
it up. So Christian, thank you all for coming in. Christian,
Thank you.
can we clap? Can someone clap? Hit your drums. You got drums over here. I love it.
So talk to me.
So what do you do? Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, Christian?
Well, I think that when most people think of the fitness industry, they think of an industry.
Yeah.
I'm completely counter industry. I've been sort of coaching, sort of coaching like for about 20 years, give or take, a few on either end. My own journey was a lot about, it was very DIY.
Yeah.
Wink. It's very much in theme with the show. So it's one of these things where I think my approach to the whole thing, the reason I'm here, I guess, is that my thing isn't necessarily trying to get my own glory with fitness so much as I'm really interested in seeing people figure out their own way.
Exactly. And I think that's really what I wanted to talk about and I find interesting is sort of, there is this element where you think about health as sort of this world where it's like get on the treadmill, like go as hard as you can, push yourself through. And I think there's, you can work up to that. Right. And I'm sure obviously with your physique, sir, you've worked up to that stage.
It's one of those things where like, let's be real, like not to wax political.
No.
I talk about this a lot on my podcast.
Yeah.
The Big Inside.
Big Inside, check it out.
Keep checking it out. But that was a plug. So the thing is that look, we we're in a capitalist structure. I mean, Alston just had an orgasm, but like look, we're in the I'm not trying to be all anti-capitalist, but I am.
Wink. Same.
And it's one of those things where we've been taught that it's all commodity fitness. That I do this many things and I get this many fitness units back. Yeah. And I think that's one of our biggest problems in society. So I've always been trying to figure out where's my authenticity with it. You could make an analogy to the music industry where it's like, because we have lots of musicians around, where there's one of these things where there's people who actually genuinely want to express themselves through music. Yeah. And yet we have this industry that sort of says, what are you producing and how can I cash in on it? Exactly. And so we get caught, we actually buy into that like, I need to produce a thing that has monetary value and we forget our expression. Yeah. I was an artist growing up. I still am an artist. That's my primary identity. I only wear pantyhose in public so that,
I think you look beautiful, Christian.
I'm really self-conscious.
No, it's okay. We'll get crotch shots
I know, right?
the whole time.
So,
crotch cam, Marvin, you want to be on crotch cam?
Marvin
is shaking his head. Fresh. He does not want to be on crotch cam.
This is a booty-full show. So
John Big Boutte, full show.
Yeah. That's Carby for you.
I kind of want to hang out with the band on the next episode.
I know. We got this living room set up. It's nice.
Right? And I smell like I'm from like a Cape Cod cottage.
Yes.
But no, it's very clean smelling. So one of those things is that for me as an artist, I'm always concerned with the expression. What am I, actually doing and influencing and impacting? I think a lot of people therefore confuse, and here's a buzzword, pay attention, kids, appearances with aesthetics.
Okay.
Appearances is something I could measure.
Yeah.
So let's do a thing. Want to do a thing,
sure,
Andrew?
I'm into it.
Let's do a little DIY.
I love things.
So let's just say, and Grapefruits here will back me on this.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're going to like a show at a club.
At a club.
And you want to look like I'm so down.
Okay.
Like I'm so into music.
You do the hang loose.
Yeah.
That
you mahalo,
shows you're down.
You're so sick of yourself, and you're just like, what's the shirt you wear? Like I know you got it. Your go-to.
Oh, my go-to shirt.
Yeah, your go-to.
So I have this shirt.
Here
I'm
it
a
is.
real big comic book fan. Listen,
here it is.
Well, I've already forgot the nickname you made up.
GF.
Grapefruits, baby.
Amanda, give me some. Okay, she's
so
hungover. I have a
Amanda,
headache. I love this woman.
Ask Amanda, how many T-shirts do I have?
Oh, like 1,000.
Like 1,000. I'm all about T-shirts.
And they all have like sweat stains. And yes, they
They're-
do.
You're a saint.
She is a saint. She's putting up
My
a lot.
boyfriend is sweaty.
At least
Is sweaty. Hey,
At least I wash my clothes
people get
often.
sweaty. All right, as someone who works out on occasion, I think you
Nice.
might understand. Do you not sweat? Oh, look at
No,
that.
never. Hey,
I have a bunch of T-shirts, and probably my go-to T-shirt is I have a Magneto shirt because I'm a big nerd.
Okay.
I like it says Magneto is right, and that's the way I could be like, hey, listen, like I don't like the establishment, and I like comic books.
Sure. And so you go to the show and you're in your Magneto shirt.
I feel comfortable.
That's the appearance. It's Andrew in a Magneto shirt. Now I use my magic ray beam, and I beam you up, and I drop you into, let's say, a wedding.
Okay.
Now, previously, you were like, he's so cool, he's down, he's hip. But then in the wedding, he's an idiot, he's underdressed, he's a fool.
Yes.
The difference, the appearances did not change. It was the aesthetic that changed.
Yes.
Aesthetics are how a thing interacts. This has been so much of the practice that I've been working on, is that we so often commodify it into a list of appearances, our body, our life, and what are my appearances? What is that checkbox of each thing that I have? In reality, where impact or relationship happens is in the aesthetic, is in what I'm communicating and what's transacting within me. Whether it's a look, music, an art, whatever it is. So I think that's where we get hung up in creating health or fitness or exercise, is we were taught it's all these check boxes. I have to have this much weight, this much fat, this many abs.
BMI.
How many? Like 9 abs.
9 abs. Can you have 9 abs?
I know guys have abs like everywhere.
I love it.
And
That's cool.
you know, I always, to be honest with you, the first time I saw the word abs, I thought it was ABS, like the automatic braking system. And
yeah. I love it.
Like cars have abs.
Cars,
There's a whole thing. See, I'm not. So I was very counter industry that way. I don't understand. I actually don't understand that thinking, because look, at the end of the day, I'm a lazy fuck.
Same.
I don't want to get off the couch. I'm right. You know,
Same here.
I'll put it this way. You know, Doritos Blaze. That's the new flavor. I know the newest flavor of Doritos.
I don't even know that.
Someone asked me about some herb the other day, and I'm like, I don't know. I
Herb.
know Doritos, but I don't know the herb.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
And like you're saying, I think that's sort of the balance you strike, where it's like, you know that you the things you should do and how you should do it, but you know there's a varying level, and you can't hold yourself. Like I've seen people who they eat something and they feel guilty, you know. So asking you about things like diet, you know, we're thinking about diet, and I'm sure that comes into a lot of
everyone.
What do you think about sort of like your consumption? Like, how do you, like, first off, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. Let me just put that out there first. Yeah, baby! You know DIY, I'm going to throw those.
You got a swoon and a beaver.
You know, I went to college, and I learned all these things, and I did drugs in college. I did drugs in college.
Same here.
But either way.
I'm doing drugs now.
Yeah, there you go. So consumption, we're talking about eating. How do you look at diet? What is your sort of diet like?
Okay, so one of the things that one of the reasons I guess I'm here and qualified is because, you know, I mean, I've competed in strength, I've competed in bodybuilding competitions, I've done all this I mean, we're talking decades of this nonsense. And so there was my reason for that was really the deconstruction of that exact question, is trying to understand, like, what am I trying to get at? What am I trying to express? And how does diet interact with that? So, you know, for me, all these things are wrapped up on ideas of personal gender identity, personal sexual identity, personal, you know, care, you know, like, how do I not be an addict? How do I be, you know, not too masculine yet a little bit masculine yet? How do I, you know, and all the stuff that we don't have time to hey, let's talk about personal stuff on DIY.
That's what I want. I'm Ricky Lake.
It's the scariest therapy room I've ever been in.
Yes, well, everybody watches and has wigs on for some reason.
And so it's the idea that, like, we get, you know, that model of like a checklist and the commodified thing. We get served that across everything.
Exactly.
Right? Look, I'm talking to millennials. Like, they don't know this, and it's like, you know. So it's one of these things, and I feel like I'm sitting in a really funky
You're side saddled on the couch, but I enjoy it.
Well,
I
look
think
at the setup of this.
I think camera one, like, it's a deep enough couch. Don't judge the couch.
I'm gonna get
on. I like it a little closer. We got to get the sign in there, the action figures. Yes.
No, so like, and it's one of these things where through that process of approaching a goal, you get challenged with your diet, because there comes a part where you feel like what had always been for me is like, am I eating out of sustenance, or I'm eating out of satisfaction?
Yeah.
You know, in other words, am I eating to achieve a goal, or is this actually the best way I could be eating for myself?
Yes.
Let me put it this way. The first relationship you, Andrew, have with food, or any human being, I'm assuming there's like 8 people watching.
Yeah.
All of us.
4 maybe.
Maybe more.
Maybe.
Thanks for the
We all have moms. We all have moms, right?
3.
Yeah, 3.
I've gotten word it's 3.
Ratings through the roof. So, of all 5 of us here, right? He's like he literally broke a sweat. Like, he just started sobbing when you said that.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna be a success.
We're having fun. We're having fun. It's just episode 20.
Of that,
Holy crap.
I want to hang with the baby. So what it is like when you were born,
Yes.
your first relationship to food was crying. It was emotional.
That's true.
It was not.
That's true.
You know, I need it.
It's still that way. It is
Exactly.
still that way.
And in reality, the way our species evolved was to have an emotional relationship with food. It's a personal thing. So one of those things is where our industry makes more money if they have you believing an emotional relationship with food is bad.
Okay.
Because then you're stuck in this constant feeling of deficit, constantly want to buy the next thing or choose the next thing or do the next thing, and that's going to make someone else money.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where the entire, not just the fitness industry, but the supermarkets and the food, all this stuff works against you and what is actually just the way our species evolved.
Yeah.
Intentionally. That's I know it sounds like conspiracy, but it's 100% true. So this idea of like, wait a minute, if I go step back and I'm going to DIY this, my relationship with food has a lot to do with my upbringing, my heritage, my whatever.
Yeah.
That's the therapy part we were talking about.
Yeah.
How do that would be the most fit, wouldn't it? That would be the most healthy, wouldn't it? Now, there's a point where we can overindulge that and abuse ourselves, and that's what everyone worries about. That's what people are really saying is, am I abusing myself?
Yes.
By indulging the Doritos.
Well,
By the way, I'm not endorsing Doritos.
Yeah, are you sponsored by Doritos? I'm mean and ass.
Or Frito-Lay
But
in
if
that
they
case.
want to send me a case for the mention,
Frito-Lay.
exactly, right? I mean,
Frito-Lay.
I can get you at least free consumer.
So let me ask you this, Christian. We're going to go to another video in just a second. But I wanted to ask you a real quick one.
Sure.
What's
I feel like I'm hunching,
I mean,
but-
you've already spoke about Doritos in several occasions, but what is a
Oh, I'm
go-to?
obsessed.
What is a go-to like cheat food? What's a good junk food for you?
Cheat.
Well, you're right. We're changing the way we think about it. You don't want to feel guilty about it. So, what is a food? What is maybe like a junk food? Your go-to junk food?
I'm not being troublesome when I say I have no generic answer to that question.
Really?
I really couldn't.
Are you a
even
sweets
answer that.
person or no?
Oh, you're saying like what's my
you're like cake.
my indulgence?
What's your
I'm a
indulgence?
salty. There's either sweets or salties, and I'm a
or-
salty.
You're a
I'm
salty.
Like, okay, so I'm at a boyfriend's house, and
Yeah.
I go and I'm like, I could use some. I want to eat something. He goes, yeah, there's a half a bag of chips in the kitchen. I go, what the fuck's a half a bag of chips? Who eats half a bag of chips? Finish the bag.
You go one
I
bag
have no
at a
idea
time.
what a half a bag is.
Full
I've
bag
never
at a
seen
time.
a half a bag
All
of
right,
chips.
so Christian, if anybody out there wants to send full bags of chips your way, is that cool?
Anything salty and cheesy.
Salty and cheesy.
Dude.
Which is
You
like-
into cheese puffs or Cheetos? Straight up.
Salty and cheesy.
I'm a puffs man. Are you a crunchy Cheetos guy?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is like in the little snack mix is the pumpernickel. How the fuck did that
The
get in?
bagel chips? The
Pumpernickel.
pumpernickel bagel chips? Those are my shit.
If I could lick the devil's testicle, it would taste like pumpernickel.
All right, let's split
It's awful.
checks
Horrible
from
flavor.
now on. I'll eat all
Horrible.
the pumpernickel bagel chips, and you can eat the rest. But either way, I'm having a great time here hanging out with Christian. We're gonna
Licking
be
the
back
devil's
much
testicle.
with more show. You're watching DIY the show. We're only here every Saturday, and I'm getting weird. Whatever, fuck it. Go to a fucking video.
What he said.
What's up, y'all? So my buddy Andy was like, Penn, how do you stay healthy on the road? Would you like to talk about it? So I figured I would. As you can see, we got this beautiful, vegan, delicious salad. I eat a lot of healthy foods, specifically vegan stuff, you know, but you can always find farmers markets along the road wherever you're at. I use this stuff, which is like black soap. So if you just find some healthy, good soap for your body, for your hair, you know, that you can use and just carry with you, that's always good. It's always important to have really good toothpaste, so I choose this, I don't know how to pronounce this, but I think it's Jason or Jason, I don't know. And almost dropped that. And we got a bamboo toothbrush, you know, always keep your teeth clean and whatnot. Always have some good books with you. Take a Kindle, or you know, run into people on your path, and you know, swap books with them and talk. Always keep a journal. I got my yoga mat right here. Always gotta, you know, stay flexible and stay balanced. When it comes down to it, life is about serving you and what works for your body and your attitude. For example, I like eating this delicious food and hanging out in hammock seats in Florida because it's too hot in New England right now. And by too hot, naturally, I mean too cold. So it's sort of depending on where you are and what you're doing. Try to eat in-season foods, you know, fruits and vegetables and whatnot. There's always a supermarket somewhere. Stay balanced, stay mindful, you know, do yoga, meditate, whatever works for you, whatever works for your body. Stretch every 2 hours in the car, because, oh man, you don't want to spend 19 hours in the car and not stretch. Always, before you get upset or you get worried or whatever, play some music on your Git fiddle or whatever your musical weapon of choice is. Like I said, eat healthy food, super groovy, read books, just stay mindful and be appreciative of everything. You know, people are always willing to help out. Never be afraid to ask questions, and just feel it out. You know, feel the vibe and be who you're gonna be. And if you want, you know, you can listen to music like the music I write or that flows through me, or the music that some of my friends write. And I'm sure Andy's got you covered on that. So I'm Penn Johnson. This is How to Stay Healthy on the Road. Take care, y'all. Much love. Peace. Bless.
Widen your channels and breathe. Let go of what is and be.
It's time for DIY. All right, everybody, welcome back to DIY the show. My name is Andrew Lowry. On the seat next to me is Christian Matyi back here on the show. So while we were in the video you just watched, that was Penn Johnson, a friend of ours. He gave us some healthy road tips. So check out his music online. He's got a bunch of shit out there. He's really great. He's one of those like namaste guys. Like, he's more centered than I'll ever be. So Penn, this is for you. Namaste. Either way, we're back here on the show. Christian, how you feeling? You've been just hanging out here.
I'm not one of those namaste.
Namaste.
Those assholes who are centered. Whatever on those guys.
Do you feel like that's a part of it? Do you feel like centering yourself? So, you know, we did an episode last
No, I think that being anxious and frenetic is the best way to live a life.
Is it? Because that's the way I live. Because if you're saying that, someone finally like is just justifying how I.
Are you asking but how like that terms of like keeping personally centered?
Well, do you find like let me ask you this. So exercising, what do you think are some misconceptions people go into exercising with? What are some like?
Okay, that's pretty easy. Is that I think that because there's an industry that is trying to dispense exercise like cans of Coke.
Yes.
There is an idea now that there are things to do. You know what I mean? Again, that transactional thing. Like, you know, you're watching, so you're like, I'd like abs. What do I do? Oh, I do that thing on my internet. I guess I have to go do that thing, and then I'll get the abs. And it's like, I think that what happens is that with that transactional idea is that you think that there's a certain magic formula or set of exercises or way.
Yeah.
And here's the reality. Most of us are going to be roughly the same as far as exercise.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a lot of variance until you begin to get further down the road, and then your unique whatevers will start popping out of that exercise.
Yeah.
It's very similar to, and because I'm looking at musicians, I keep thinking like, I'm sure holding a guitar, like there's a way that they will, or playing the piano, there's a way that they will have you address that form and playing the drums or whatever. But eventually you're going to the shape of your body and around the shape of the instrument. You're going to figure out your way of playing.
Yeah, because all you're talking about really is sort of just physical movement. Right. And that's all exercise really is. And so it doesn't come down to like what machine I'm using. It's all if you're doing it.
And let's go back to the political. We're in a place in our culture where the middle class, he went there. The middle class dream is how do I, my greatest goal in life, have as few inconveniences as possible, which, as you know, as the body ages, it's constantly changing and life changes. And there's actually going to inevitably be more inconveniences as you grow older. So let's get clear with that. The dream that's pumped to you is live a life that has as few inconveniences. I can have pleasure, I can have trips, I can have car, I can have girlfriend and boyfriend and this and that and dog and cat and whatever. All these in my life will be somehow this static jello of like non-inconvenience. This is so nice. We're always chasing that. It's a chase. I gotta get my life more comfortable. If you think about that, that is the exact opposite of exercising, which will rattle your cage. You know, whether you're jogging or lifting weights or playing football or whatever thing you're doing. It's gonna become inconvenient.
That's true.
So if your mindset, if your philosophy is my life, all my goal is to be happy, and happy equals low inconvenience. Well, first off, it's impossible anyway. But second off, you already don't understand how to move, how to exercise. If you're just chasing the static jello of pure, like, no inconvenience, you're not going to get there. So it's a self-check.
Yeah.
You were asking about being centered. See how I brought it back?
Yeah, I love
I'll
it.
get your tangents. Don't worry, I'll get your tangents.
Yeah.
That's the idea of being centered, is like, wait a minute, questioning my motives overall.
Yeah.
Like I said with the dieting, am I living a life that I'm really just trying to always be comfortable? And if so, well, then you're not going to want to exercise, and you're going to choose every option possible to not exercise, and then you're going to get unhealthy. And versus, and this is the alternative thing, is like, that's, like I said, I'm lazy innately.
Yeah.
I believe that. I'd rather just be the person who doesn't have inconvenience.
Okay.
But so I guess what I'd rather do is have a life where I'm really, really okay with the fact that there's always going to be bullshit raining down on me, and be really chill. And I'm not good at it. Trust me, I got
fair.
this far in and still suck at it. But it's the idea of like, what if my goal was to be okay with shit?
Yeah.
Not to get rid of shit.
No.
But to actually bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm really good. I'm Teflon. Bring on the bullshit.
You know.
Now, if you approach exercise, if it sucks for me, bring it on. I'm really good at dealing with bullshit.
Let me ask you this, Christian. Let me ask this question.
I wanted to talk about science.
We'll talk about science. We got plenty of time. So, Christian, what are some easy exercises people like you and me can sort of do in our everyday normal lives?
I say this. Your first.
Fucking like.
Okay.
So,
what?
All right. So
Hello, sir. Can I help you?
No, I'm like pissed off right now. Hold on. So Tom Brady gets destroyed.
Can I ask your name, sir? Who are you, Justin? What is going on here? Can someone let me know, Marvin?
I'm Pat MaCann. I'm the toughest guy in Quincy. Okay.
Pat MaCann. Let's welcome Pat MaCann here on the show. Toughest guy in Quincy. So, Pat, how we doing, buddy?
I'm upset actually. I had to pay for my Dunkin' Donuts.
How'd you get in the studio? Did we leave the door unlocked?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Marvin, I told you to lock the door.
What part of public access television aren't you getting?
Yeah, I know. People
I
just
found this
wondering.
microphone. I was like, sure, that's a good one.
That's a good one. You
I'll
like
take-
that?
Yeah.
So, Pat, so you're the fittest guy in Quincy, so
Yeah.
you think you're the strongest person in all of Quincy.
All of Quincy.
You need the microphone to talk into.
I need
talking
this.
to the microphone.
I don't
yeah.
know.
Come on, put the pipes up.
Yeah, I got.
Look at this kid. Look at this kid.
No, it's the winter time. They hibernate. It's all right.
So-
It's all right. We don't need that.
So we're talking. I was asking
Apparently I'm a
Christian
polar
this, but let me ask you: what are some fitness sort of techniques you can do? People like us. So you say you're the fittest. How do you get so fit, Mr. Pat? There.
Well, I just stay in shape, dude. Come on. Man.
How do you? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Just,
Do you do the Tom
you
Brady
lift?
diet?
I was gonna do the Tom Brady diet. It's really expensive to do that,
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
buy
true.
all organic stuff.
where are you gonna find a woman like Giselle?
Yeah. I just ask for extra lettuce a lot of times when I get a burger and stuff.
Solid.
Yeah,
That's a good plan. That's a good
tomatoes.
plan.
You got some onions.
Onions.
All the
That's
good
a
stuff.
vegetable.
Yeah, some,
I
yeah,
think that's a vegetable.
Definitely a
It's the
vegetable.
worst
We're gonna,
vegetable. Yeah.
We gotta, go into the, the whatever. They gotta do some research on that, but I don't know. What else?
I take it you only go by the scientific methods.
Oh yeah.
So
kidding me,
Pat,
dude? Come on.
so you're from
thing.
Quincy. Are you born and raised in Quincy?
Born and raised in Quincy. I took the football team.
You don't
actually.
look Chinese. Come on, it's the way. Come on,
Where
Karen.
the
It's a
fuck
joke.
is Quincy?
No, it's like it's
it?
a huge. Yeah, it's.
Okay.
So so I'm from Quincy. I took the football team to states 2 years in a row actually.
2 years in a row,
Yep.
okay.
I did youth hockey.
Okay.
Used to do youth golf.
Okay.
I did it all. Did youth wrestling.
Youth wrestling.
But youth golf was where it was at. That's the real money maker.
Oh, my putter was great.
Did you ever make it into any adulthood sports?
Yeah. Play men's rec.
Men's rec.
Yeah, basketball.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. So
Well, because you know how it is. You got to get an endorsement. It's all about who you know to get into like the
To get into men's rec.
to the
Yeah,
no.
rec
I'm
center.
talking like the big leagues. Like
The big leagues.
Yeah, like it's like
Which leagues are these?
the big ones.
Oh, the big ones.
But men's rec, you go down to some they go in here in Somerville. You go down, you say I want to play some basketball, and they're like, all right, cool,
nice.
and you go play. It's all right.
So now, Pat, let me ask you this. So you say you're the fittest man. Are there any can you show us how fit you are? I want to see
Do a
how
fit
strong
thing.
you actually are.
Yeah. What do you want?
What do you got?
What do you got?
I got my trampoline. Hold on.
You got.
He brings a
You
trampoline.
brought a trampoline. So
with him.
Pat MaCann,
This is
let's
South
roll this
Shore
trampoline. Yeah,
well.
right there, maybe. Yeah, sure. Why not?
This is what
This is tramp zone.
The Tramp Zone, sponsored by
This area was what
Spalding.
we call the tramp
The
stamp.
tramp stamp of approval from Christian here. So are we all standing? Is this
Another
what?
name for Quincy.
I felt the energy.
So Pat, what are you gonna do for us on this trampoline here? What are we doing?
I
on
can
this trampoline.
I can do some hops, dude.
Some hops. All right, look at them hops. So so now beer cans. Beer cans have fallen. Now, Pat, we are not allowed to drink on set here.
No.
Where did those cans come from?
I didn't drink them on set. I drank them before set.
You drank them before set, so yeah. So Pat, as some beer cans fall out, that was some good. Let me see it, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude,
shit.
so strong, so strong.
You broke
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's hear it for Pat MaCann, everybody. Straight from the fittest man in Quincy. So, Pat, let me ask you this on the way out. I was going to ask
wildly
Christian
uncomfortable
this.
right
Yeah,
now.
it's okay. So I was going to ask Christian this. What are some of your favorite exercises to do? What are your go-to exercises?
Well, I like to do jump rope.
Jump rope?
That one's good. I do a lot of push-ups.
Push-ups?
Those are good.
You ever do a burpee? You know what a burpee is?
Well, after I had a couple of these down east, so I could do some.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
Some burpees.
Some of the kids you don't pay daycare for, I'm sure you don't do burpees for them either.
No, I mean,
come on.
Can't be doing that.
Yeah.
I do lift.
Are we playing with gender types? What's that?
I do lift all the time.
You do
I
lift?
lift actually, like 7 days a week, dude. I'm lifting I actually drive for lift.
Okay.
It's a lot of
Nice.
lifting. It's what's funny.
It's committed to lifting.
Yeah.
Pat, Pat, let me ask you this. Is there anybody personally you want to shout out to now? We have 3 viewers watching right now. Anything you'd want to say to those 3 viewers? Camera 1. You got camera 1.
Well, we got of course Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, shout out.
Of course Tom Brady, the GOAT. And you said anybody.
Anybody you want.
Doesn't have to be sports.
No, it doesn't have to be sports related or exercise related.
Okay, this one for my, if you're watching Tammy, my ex-wife, listen, I know that you when you
He's making it hard to hard.
when you went out and you went to that concert and let me feel up on you, that was real, and I just wish that maybe one day you could let me meet your kids.
This is sad.
It was
this is tragic.
Since we graduated, we went our separate ways, but. I know that what we had was real, and so Tammy would be my second shout out.
Tammy,
and then
that's quite a shout.
Yeah, and then Steve from Phys Ed.
Okay,
he picked me like last one time for dodgeball, and I was like, "You regret this, but look at me, I'm here on DIY."
You're on the public access.
With so many people watching.
Yeah, well, how many people's watching Steve?
There you go.
There it is.
Fair enough.
There, Steve. How many people are watching?
So shout out to Tom Brady. Shout out to Tammy, your ex-wife.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Steve, you said?
Steve.
Yeah, we say fuck Steve here on the show. Fuck Steve.
On Arnold Schwarzenegger. He shouts Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's not bad. Good guy.
He's a good guy. We like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to another video, and when we come back, me and Christian are going to talk some more. We're going to talk about my health and fitness and see how I can get fit. So, Chris O'Grady, Cliff, you want to play us out of here? We'll be back here on DIY Show. Got a music review for your homies.
Well done, kid.
Hey guys, it's Mikey, back for another episode of Lend Me Your Ears, only on DIY. Tonight we are talking about Boston area band The Water Cycle. They have a lot of releases. This is the latest one of them, and it's called Other Guys. I'd recommend this group to anyone who's a fan of indie pop outfits like Born Ruffians or Someone Still Loves You, Boris Yeltsin, with a power trio setup that caters particularly to dreamy indie pop music. It's stripped down, no frills. The songs are about love loss and they really speak from the heart. Their sense of humor comes through in songs, right down to the band's name, The Water Cycle. I feel like it's not probably too far-fetched to imagine that these guys met in an 8th grade science class and just said, hey, let's start making songs. That sense of humor does not eclipse the sincerity of the tracks, though, as these are all real broken-hearted love songs. But they're light enough to make it feel more like bittersweet crush anthems. In fact, listening to this, I got a very high school surf movie kind of vibe, and that might just because they're going for a very jangly aesthetic that you hear in a lot of modern dream pop music. I would think of like Mac DeMarco
or Boy Pablo. If you listen to either of those, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let's go track by track. Opening track is called Have You Heard? And it's about finding a new love, admiring someone from afar who doesn't know that you exist. And so that's sure to pluck a heartstring of anyone that's ever been in that situation before, myself included. Second tune, which I mentioned before, is the I Went on a Date for the First Time in a Year and Cried After. That's the title. Reverb that you hear on the guitar track in that, and also some really competent bass line work. If you pay attention to the bass line of that song, you'll see that while you might get the sense that these guys are just troubadours without much technical ability, listen to the bass lines and they'll really tell you something different. Lines about, I can't believe you dyed your hair, I liked it better before, but now it's for the other guy that you're seeing, not me. It's a, sad breakup song, maybe post-breakup song, but it's got a cute little cynicism to it. Third song, Mom Jeans. If you can pull the sincerity from the track and reconcile it with the, subtly making fun of a girl's choice of jeans at a party, you can kind of get the point from that one. It's got a really catchy and playful melody. A lot of these songs actually are real earworms and they'll stick with you after you hear them. The fourth track might be my favorite. That's the one, Prep School Girls. Fits really cohesively with the beach rock sound that I was talking about. Kind of reminds me of the Zombies, actually. And it sounds like it pays tribute to older bands like that. It's also the song that has my favorite lyrics on the album. I pulled some here. She shops at Urban, she reads John Green, her favorite band is Death Cab, I Wanna Scream. Fifth one is the one that I feel is to be taken the most seriously. It's called Don't You Take, Don't You Take My Girl Away, that kind of lost love anthem. But it's played straight, opposed to the rest of the songs that are kind of upbeat and comedic. This song is much more, I wouldn't say somber, but it's a solo acoustic track that is definitely meant to be the closer. When I was little, my family would always rent a beach house in Cape Cod for a week or so, and every summer we would go. And I feel like this album is a companion piece to one of those trips, because as a little kid I always wanted to know what falling in love was, 'cause that's what all the songs were about. And I feel like this album is a good complement to a trip like that. I would say this is a good summer album for trying to find love or trying to even figure out what it is. Don't read too much into it. The lyrics are not super serious, but I do feel there's a real sincerity behind them. And I commend these guys on keeping it, the levity pretty high, but also the lyricism and the musicianship are there as well. I could see these guys as the house band for a beach barbecue. I could see myself getting a little drunk and trying to accompany these guys on ukulele, and they would be like, nah man, nah. These are not your songs. These are our songs. And I would have to respect that. Band is The Water Cycle. The album is Other Boys. Please check them out. Please support them. Give them all your money for DIY. This is Lend Me Your Ears. I'm your host, Mikey Clappus. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Is there a phase at the end of each day?
It's time for DIY.
Hey, welcome back to DIY. I got mangoes. That's it. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We're still here talking about health and fitness with my friend. Fisting. We're talking about fisting a little bit later. That's next week's episode. You want to come back for that one?
I've been asked before. Sure,
okay,
why
so
not?
Christian Matyi's back here with us. So we're talking about health and fitness. We're talking about eating right, being strong. So before,
and I gotta say, because Kathy Bates called me out hard.
Yeah.
The joke with the Chinese is that that's an immigration population, and I apologize if I was
okay.
at all insensitive.
Yeah,
it was meant
okay.
as like a...
Nobody was
I want to apologize because it wasn't. That was kind of, it was off color, and I just wanted to call attention to the fact that we correct our errors on DIY.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Look at you, Gilbert Gottfried.
I really brought you on for selfish reasons because, I'm trying to figure my fucking life out. That's what the show's all about. It's basically like me bringing people on who are better at things than I am so I can ask them how they do it so I can become a better person and eventually reach high. That's why Carby is here too. He knows. So for you, Christian, let's talk about like how I live for a little bit. So when you're training someone, when you start like working with someone.
I don't train.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
But
I am for hire though.
There you go.
Thebiginside.com.
So whenever you help someone, if you've helped someone in the past or even personally, what are the first questions you ask? What would you need for me to sort of get?
Okay, so first off, I gotta say, Andrew, 10 points for you.
Okay.
10 points Gryffindor for the fact that is where it starts. So you need input to have output.
Exactly.
That's just true of all things. Okay. So if you're trying to improve how you eat toward, like the first thing is like toward what end? Where are we going and why?
Yeah.
A lot of people can say where they're going. The why is where people often get tripped up. So if it's like, that's why I was saying earlier, boil it down to, is it because like, I think it's going to get me a spouse? Like if it's something like that, or if it's like, well, my doctor said I'll die in 3 months if I don't, like those are two radically different ideas.
Motivation.
So knowing the motivation,
Yeah.
like even if it's broad, knowing that, and then, obviously you're going to develop the diet to it, but it's about, give me that input. Like what?
So I want to live a long and healthy life. And I just want it to be, to feel natural. I think that's
to feel natural.
To feel natural. So when
I can do it right now.
I love it. I feel like I'm talking to a therapist about my eating habits. But no,
mother.
I want it. Yes. Oh, my father and mother issues. You want to hear
Sopranos
about my parental
much?
issues? Yeah. Carvia knows. But no, it's for me. It's sort of what feels natural. So obviously, I know it would be. Because I have I sleep at random times. I stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. most nights. I eat randomly and sporadically. I work at a very high pressure, stressful job. And when I do eat, it's not really the best food. And so I know it's about changing those learned.
If you were your own kid, would you raise you this way?
No.
So why are you being a selfish fuck?
I know.
Oh my God, on the air, I hit him hard. No, so I mean, so sometimes that's like a silver bullet bullshit.
Yeah.
That's
No,
not
I
fair.
understand.
But it's the idea that we have to, it's that idea of like, okay, so I have all these things I want.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's usually where people get tripped up, is they refuse to get humble around their own wants.
Yeah.
Because they believe that like, if I don't get all these things I want, bad things will befall me.
Very true.
I'm not saying don't be motivated in your career. I'm not saying don't strive. And I'm not even saying like there are going to be periods in life where, you know what, the inconvenience will be I'm going to hack at my body's health.
Yeah.
And I can accept that. I'm not going to sleep well. Like that makes perfect sense. But it really boils down to is that, and this goes to diet, is this going to be for, I have a set plan of 9 months of this and then I'm saying no, like I would discipline a child? Or is it like, well, I'm going to wait and see how long it goes. And 8 years into deteriorating your health, you've realized, well, I never really checked that, did I?
Well, I feel like for me,
just so you know, your body's a clock.
Yeah.
It's a clock, and it runs. No, not like that. Not like, all right, time's ticking out. But like, all things happen on a time frame.
Yeah.
So if you want to be vague with time, that's your prerogative. But that's your biggest health flaw with dieting.
Yeah.
Is like, I'm not paying attention to. Okay, I'm gonna eat shitty and sleep shitty, until a thing happens, but I have no idea that time frame.
Yeah.
You could be deteriorating your joints, your muscles, your liver, your heart. You could be your blood pressure. You could be deteriorating something just by not being specific.
Very true.
Get fucking specific.
Yeah.
Give it a number. How many more years do you want to live like this, Andrew? Right now.
Like 2 more, probably.
2 more. No.
turned
I want you to be
30
hard.
years.
No. You asked me what to ask.
If I'm being realistic.
Give me a date.
A date? I don't have a date. I don't.
No, make a date.
I hate this. I hate change.
There's your inconvenience. There's the inconvenience.
No,
He's literally facing the inconvenience.
Too deep.
Right here.
No, it's
give me how many years do you want to live this diet and sleep
and sleep lifestyle? I don't want to live it anymore.
You can break the promise
later. I don't want to live it anymore. I don't. Tomorrow. I would love to not be like this.
So
man, like I'm gonna cry. Like the way I feel is that I just want to feel good inside.
I didn't mean to break the show.
I just want to feel good inside. And so I smoke cigarettes and I eat poor because I really hate myself. Kathy Bates is not enjoying this. Green Zeus, aka Kathy Bates, does not enjoy the new nickname. Is crossed.
He's like, get him off the show. Get him off the show. Anyway, so go on. I'm sorry.
So I don't know. I'm lost. How about we got another minute left, Christian. I've had so much fun hanging out with you.
I was trying to give you something useful.
I know.
You see what I mean?
Well, give us like your.
So I want you to write. Here's a useful. Here's a
life motto. Give us a life motto.
No. Here's a practical thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a motto. Vagueness is your worst enemy. So it starts with writing things down, not just as like goals, like I want this, but giving it a specific, a date, a time, numbers. In other words, if you If you couldn't write down your goals and someone else can visualize it, measure it, weigh it, lick it, smell it, taste it, whatever, like if it isn't totally manifest in someone else's mind, you didn't write down the goal properly.
Okay.
It's just any goal you have that doesn't have a quantifiable plan of attack has a name, and it's called a hallucination. So it's one of those things like you want to stop eating poorly and see, well then start, like it's literally a pen and paper and write it down as specifically, put it away 24 hours, come back to it 24 hours later, rewrite it more specifically, and do that as many times. And what's going to happen is what's going to pop out is the first instruction. You don't need the other person. You need to, if you're DIYing it, you need to keep on redrafting it, and then one little, I can do that. Yeah. Whether it's, I need to get to bed at 9 every night. I need to, you know what? I need to stop eating 4 bags of Doritos Blaze every night. Like, it'll pop out, but you have to keep rewriting it until you get that specific. Is that a useful little tool?
No, I love it. That's a great way. And I mean, I think being practical, being realistic, and taking those goals, those large goals you have, and breaking them down into realistic steps that you can.
In your show, Andrew,
life.
you delineate and you make everything. There's a schedule. There's times. There's clocks. There's
and
things
it's all
everywhere.
broken.
You know the skill.
Yeah.
You have, look at these cards. You have notes on this episode. You know, like you know the skill.
Tricks.
You know the skill. You know, I know you know the skill. It's that idea of like, that's you. We have the skill.
Yeah.
So everyone's acting like diet. Like that's the industry telling you it's some hidden knowledge. It isn't. It really isn't. Is that DIY enough?
No, I think.
Am I hitting
no, you're
the
giving me some
DIY-ness?
real life advice right now, and I'm actually like really taking this in, just to be honest. So Christian, anyway, before we go to our last video, and then we have Tunix Giant in the studio playing for us. Do you have any shout-outs? Anything you want to promote? Anything you want to get out there before we cut to our last video?
I mean, I work at. I'm a creative. I'm a designer and brand manager.
Yeah.
But the first thing, I'm in a podcast, thebiginside.com.
Check it out.
You've got to listen to this thing. It's very different than what, I mean, sometimes funny, sometimes serious. It's sometimes insightful. Most of the time, it's a train wreck. And, you know, thebiginside.com. Just in case you're wondering, it's thebiginside.com. And for those who didn't know, for those 3 of you, thebiginside.com. Also, you know, I just want to give a shout out to SAI Sports, SAI Sports.
Shout out.
It's a client of mine that get pissed if they didn't hear it. So I have to, they're like every time I take the media. The third thing is please check out givestrength.net.
Okay.
What it is that there's a lot of lifters and strength lifters and CrossFitters, and they just kind of do it for their own vanity.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, what it does is it takes people who exercise and attaches it to charity work.
Okay.
So the more you lift,
Yeah.
the more a charity for cancer, for hurricane relief,
Wow.
for
Any
something.
cause?
What's that?
Or any
they're,
cause?
and they're evolving. So it's a new organization, and they want to expand causes.
Like
so if you have a cause,
So lift your way into a better tomorrow.
givestrength.net
by
and
checking that out.
thebiginside.com.
So awesome. Well, Christian, thank you also
Andrew, this
much
was a
for
lot of
having us. We're gonna go to another video. I figured while we go out, do you want to try to flex? Do you? I don't know.
I'm out of shape.
I mean, you're
Whatever you need. Whatever you
Let's
need.
go. We're
Oh my
flexing.
God, he's gonna do it!
Flexing, we flexing. Chris, play some music. Cardi, you want to flex with us? We got flexing.
Oh my God!
Cardi, you got it. Get the shades on. We're flexing here. Well, we'll be right back.
We out?
We got Tunix Giant playing later. Yeah, we're strong. Go to the fucking video.
Go to the break, please. Go to the break.
This is Sparks Pop Culture Corner, and here today to talk to you about the most physically fit people I can think of. Okay, so you got Marky Mark. Marky Mark is always fit, fucking built like in Pain and Gain. Arnold Schwarzenegger is always a good one. Any action hero from the 1980s really is always just a fucking like beef castle, and it's insane. Chris Evans, of course, Chris Hemsworth, that guy that works at the YMCA near my house, that guy who I see riding a bike near me every day, pretty much everyone at the local gym, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Vin Diesel. I always ask people whether Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Vin Diesel would win in a fight, because I think Vin Diesel would win because he's cunning and resourceful and furious. But really the whole cast of the Fast and Furious movies, I feel like could make this list, besides maybe Ludacris. They're just so fucking built and ripped, and it's just ridiculous. Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, Carl Urban, he took off his shirt I remember seeing him take off his shirt in the movie The Loft, which is fucking terrible. just his abs were just this perfect little triangle. It was fucking ridiculous. Anyway, that's really the most physically fit people I can think of. Besides, maybe Richard Simmons. Anyway, this has been Sparks' Pop Culture Corner. Take care.
It's time for DIY.
Hey everybody, welcome back to DIY the show. My name is Andrew Lowry. I've had such a fun time with you today. This has been a really fun, crazy, sporadic, yeah, thanks, Carbia. It's been a fucking day, as Carbia said. I had a great time talking with Christian. Go check out his stuff. Oh my gosh. What's his name? What's his podcast again? Oh my God, I'm so glad he's not in the room.
Big Inside.
He's right there. He just heard me. Either way, thank you all for watching DIY the show. Check out Christian's stuff. We're going to be sharing out later. Check out everything that's going on here. But without further ado, I want to give Tunix Giant some time to play on the show. You guys want to play for us? You going to kill us some dudes? So without further ado, let's hear it for Tunix Giant, everybody!
Take a little time. Then I don't know. You may find part of you that won't leave us behind. I could go away, even if just for a few days. If it means you'll be missing me. 'Cause the hardest part is I don't know what to do. So if you wanna take some time for a long time, what's that mean?
Yeah, let's hear it again. Let's hear it again, everybody. Tunix Giant, everybody. Tunix Giant. Oh my God, thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much in the back. Thank you so much on the bass. Woo! So anyway, we're here on DIY the show. My name is Andrew Lowry. As always, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank my guest, Cardi's here. Christian, you want to come out? I want to thank all my guests. Chris had to leave early. Cliff, you're killing it. So Christian's here. Thank you again, Christian, for coming in. Thank you. Pat MaCann. Pat MaCann's here. Pat MaCann, what you got going on? Pat, any last words you got to say?
Tom Brady is the greatest.
Tom Brady, greatest quarterback on earth. Amanda, what do we end up drawing today? Come on into the light. Come on. So what do we got today? Justin Mooskall. How's the hangover doing now? Better. Hangover's better. So either way.
Manny for life.
Yeah, there you go. So we're either way. We're here on DIY the show. We're going to go away. And next week we got something else happening. I don't think we have a topic yet, but we'll figure it out either way. This has been DIY. I'm going to go home.
It's time for DIY. It's time for DIY.